Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage and welcome back to a brand new series of Civilization 5. It's been a little while since I played any Civ 5. I was getting a little bit bored. I was struggling a little bit to complete it on Deity, even though I managed to get a couple of wins on Deity. And I decided to just sort of put it to bed for a little while I played some other games. But now that Civilization 6 is due out in a few months, I probably will be retiring Civ 5 permanently, assuming that Civ 6 is any good. And that actually takes my attention away from Civ 5. But I did want to go back and do some more stuff with Civ 5 in the meantime, and I wanted to do something a little bit different. I've never really been a big fan of using mods, but there are a few things within Civ 5 that I've never really done. And those things are the scenarios. Now, most people don't even know that these things exist. So basically, Civilization 5, the vanilla game, Gods and Kings, and Brave New World all came with a selection of these single-player scenarios. You also get a few with some of the different Civilization DLCs as well. Now, most of these scenarios are relatively straightforward. You will start with a very specific civilization and ruler, and there's usually some sort of limitations on things like social policies and the tech tree, and you will have a very specific goal in order to complete the scenario. Now, I haven't played through any of these before. I've messed around with them, but it was a long time ago when I was quite inexperienced with Civilization. So I thought it'd be nice if I actually attempted one or two of them. But there is one very specific one that I really want to have a go at, because it is the most different thing in the unmodded Civilization 5 game that you can do. Now, you actually need the Gods and Kings expansion for this one to work. So I know some people skipped Gods and Kings and went straight on to Brave New World, but you must have the Gods and Kings DLC for this one. And it is this one here, Empires of the Smoky Skies. The advent of steam power has revolutionized the world. It is a time of discovery fueled by newfound resources and brilliant inventions. Can you harness the power of steam to bring your people to greatness? So let's go ahead and load this scenario in. First thing you're going to notice, it's configuring the game data. That's because it is basically switching off the Brave New World DLC, which is why we have the Gods and Kings background screen there. Now, I'm not using any mods at all in this game, with the exception of the Enhanced User Interface mod. And if you're not familiar with that, the only thing that changes is the way that some of the things on the interface are presented, shuffles them around, makes them a bit easier to see. Doesn't change the game in any way, shape, or form. So, scenario description. Greetings to you, renowned captain of science and industry. The advent of steam power has revolutionized the world. It is a time of discovery fueled by newfound resources and brilliant inventions. Great airships trek across the skies, marking their trails with black smoke. Civilizations are propelled towards a bright future, but competition is fierce. Resources are scarce and technological secrets are carefully guarded. You and your rivals must expand your empires across the globe to meet growing needs in the name of progress. Can you harness the power of steam technology and bring your people to greatness? Now, there's some very specific victory conditions for this. Empires compete in the empires compete in the domains of military, culture, industry, commerce, and labour. Be the best in a domain to earn an honourable title. To see the specifics of each title and monitor your progress, check the League of Empires screen. The first empire to hold 3 or more titles wins the game. So these are the things that you usually get score on in the standard game. So obviously military, how big your army is. Culture, how much culture per turn you've got. Your industry is your production output. Your commerce is your gold output. And obviously, no, your labour is your production output. It's one or the other. We'll find out when we get in there. Special rules. Players begin with all technologies up through steam power. The tech tree after steam power has been altered significantly, giving players the ability to construct airships, land ships, and new buildings. Barbarians, or Luddites, are enabled but don't have access to advanced units. Social policies have been rearranged and religion has been disabled, as have religious and militaristic city-states. So we're going to play this on Prince. I've got nothing to prove. I want to basically play this for fun. And because we're basically trying to compete in score, which is often difficult to do on anything above Prince because the AI gets all of these bonuses and benefits that give it lots of extra production and culture and stuff like that, we're just going to play on Prince. It's just to mess around. I don't think we necessarily want to do continents, because that's a little bit boring. We could go ahead and do a Pangea, or we could go ahead and do a Fractal, or could we do random? We could do shuffle. Let's just go and do, let's go and do Fractal. Let's do Fractal just for a bit of a laugh. Now, we get to pick our leader. We could random. But there are 5 leaders. 1, 2, 3, 4... Yeah, 5 leaders that you can choose from. So you've got Cyrus Rotherham of the Uruk, and their airships get +2 movement. And yep, I said airships. And their unique building is the aerodrome, which replaces the airship hangar. So a lot of these things you won't know of anyway, because they're all, like, completely new. Obviously, they're reusing some of the assets, but... Then you've got Clinton Alderdice from Dalmas, and for him, adopting new social policies costs 10% less culture. His unique building is the grandstand, which replaces the stadium. Then you've got Ignis Kernow of the All-In, and he gets +1 production from strategic resources, and lubric resources provide double quantity. Lubric is basically uranium, and that's pretty much a variation on the Russian unique ability. And he can build the Laboric Factory, which is a upgrade or a replacement to the Laboric Refinery. Then we've got Octavius Cutler of the Pulias, and he gets +1 gold from strategic resources, and Ethereum, which is aluminium of course, provides double quantity. He can build the Ethereum Factory, which is a replacement to the Ethereum Fabricator. And finally there is Luther Griggs of Vedria, who gets 25% production towards any building already in the capital, so it's basically the Roman unique ability there. His unique building is the Taurus Dynamo, which replaces the Tesla Coil. Gives additional science. I think we're going to go for Ignis Kernow. I'd like to get that extra production from strategic resources, assuming that we might actually find some. Let's go ahead and start the game. So we might find, and obviously I've got now talking over the narrator, but we might find that we start in a bit of a bad position on a fractal map. We'll have to see how this works out. So let's go ahead and begin our journey. And let's have a little look and see what we start with. So we've got 3 settlers, so we can instantly build 3 cities. We start with 2 workers. We start with 2 scouts, and we also start with 2 of these ironclads, which are our sort of steampunk-esque tank units. So a little bit like cavalry. They've got 3 movement, they don't gain any defensive terrain bonuses, and they can move after attacking. The land ironclad can be upgraded to the land ship, and the land ship can be further upgraded to the land leviathan. If we go ahead and have a quick look at the tech tree, so as you can see, as promised, we have everything up to and including steam power. But then when we get into the steam era, we've got all of these things here. So we've got like the difference engine, and then there's the analytical engine, which is a national wonder if you build the difference engine everywhere. You've got the grand mansion, which unlocks Biltmore House if you build it everywhere. The Biltmore House is a national wonder. And then you've got things in there like the flyers. We've got, some of them are the same, like we've got Trade College, submarines, land ships are in there, the patent office, stadiums, Neuschwanstein's in there, airships, inventors hall. So lots of interesting stuff as we go through the tech tree. So this is the League of Empires. This basically shows us what the victory progress is there. So first of all, let's think about putting our first city down. Well, I guess having a coastal city is not a bad idea. If we go and settle here, we will be able to get the wheat, the deer, the sugar, the furs, the horses. Most of this stuff will be in range. We'll get the fish as well. So I think that's probably a really good place to settle our first city. Let's make sure we've got our individual management on. And we actually start with a decent amount of population as well. So definitely working the tiles with the most food makes a lot of sense. Now, we do have a little tiny bit of money, although we do have to actually... we do actually have to maintain our army for a few turns. So working some tiles that give us gold isn't a bad idea, but we definitely want to get some production as well. Let's go ahead and just buy the wheat just for the 2 food and 1 production. We want to lock those tiles. We'll put it on production focus. But for our final tile, we probably 5 turns until growth. Yeah, we'll probably lock that tile in there. So let's go off and, well, we need to produce something here first. I guess getting a workboat could be really, really useful for us to go and get that food connected up as soon as possible. So let's start work on a workboat. You'll also notice we start with a number of buildings already built here. So we've already got an amphitheatre, an opera house, public school, university, bank, market, workshop, as well as aqueduct, barracks, castle, coliseum, granary, library, lighthouse, monument, theatre and walls. So we start with a lot of really nice stuff. So what we need to do now is a little bit of exploration. We're going to go and use this worker to construct a farm here. And I think we'll probably use the other worker maybe to build a camp on the deer. But let's go out and do a little bit of exploration because we need to find a good spot for our second and third cities. So we're probably just going to use our scouts in order to do this. We'll try and move the settlers with them. It's going to be a little bit difficult, of course, because they can't move as quickly as the scouts can. Let's go ahead and take, not the ironclad, but we want to take the worker and move you on to there so we can build a camp. And we will start to have a little bit of a look around with these ironclads just so that we can keep ourselves safe, because we know that there will be some barbarians on the map. Let's go ahead and choose a research then and decide what we want to work into. So this would give us extra science, extra gold and culture. I think we probably want to try and get the extra science first because our science output is pretty terrible. Let's go straight on and hit next turn because there isn't really an awful lot that we can do right now. So we can adopt a new social policy already, which is fantastic. Now, it looks slightly different anyway because it's gods and kings. But we've got labour. So 10% production when building wonders and new cities start with 1 extra population. Or +2 science from every specialist. And that does lead into aristocracy. What have we got over here? Culture. Industry gives us gold maintenance costs for buildings reduced by 15%. That could be very useful. +1 production in every city and +5% production in cities constructing buildings. +2 production per city and +1 production for every mine and quarry. I think this one actually might be very useful for us. Commerce maintenance on roads and railroads reduced. Gold maintenance cost of buildings reduced. That could be quite useful. But so could the extra production. Let's get the extra production first, because that'll be useful. It'll only take us a few. I think we can afford another one already, actually. So let's go ahead and do that. Yep, so and we can get a third one. So as we've got enough culture to get a third one, what do we want to get? Do we want to go... Well, we're not using specialists at the moment. We're not really building wonders. Extra happiness. What's our happiness at the moment? Happiness isn't terrible. Legalism provides a free culture building in your first 4 cities. That's not a bad idea. Factories increase the city's science output by... I think we'll just go on this one. We just pile all into industry. We'll get that done very, very quickly. We're only losing 6 gold now instead of 8, which is much better. So again, let's just keep having a look around with our scouts. I'm trying to find a good place to put our second and third cities. We'll have a little bit of a look with our land ships as well. Obviously, we do want to try and keep the settlers safe. We have found some barbarians here. We should be able to beat these guys quite easily. Can't attack them on this turn. This might not be a bad spot for a second city, actually. We would have some cattle. We'd have bananas. We'd have more horses. Maybe that's what we want to do. You guys are going to construct a camp. There's nothing more we can do on this turn, so let's go and end the turn there. We've already ran into Luther. Okay, goodbye. Now he's moving out with his scouts here. Looks like he's trying to attack this with... Well, he's just got his scouts terribly murdered. Which is good for us, because we can instantly move in here and go and clear that camp. And we can almost murder those guys over there. Now then. You're moving quite close, and I don't like it, because I want... There is a city-state up here. They are hostile. They're a mercantile city-state. Now then, where do I want to build my next city? Doesn't really appear there's an awful lot over here. So maybe we want to have a look around in this direction. Try and get this settler up here. Hopefully we won't lose them. It should be okay. This settler, I think we might want on... 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll be too far away. I think the tile where the ironclad is probably the best tile for these guys to be on. So that's where we're going to move to. He can't get to us because he can't go around the ironclad, so the settler should be safe there. Choose production. We have finished the workboat. So what do we want to work on here? Getting some more money would be nice. Windmill would be good for production. What's going to be the most useful thing to us at the moment? I think we probably do want to get that windmill, actually. Let's go ahead and work on that. Unit needing orders. We have our workboat. You're going to go straight down here and work on the fish. That'll give us an extra gold anyway. A couple of turns we will actually grow, so that'll be fine. And a unit needs orders. We've got another scout over here. Let's move that scout there anyway, just to block. I mean, we might lose that scout to these riflemen. So that's probably a little bit silly, but I'd sooner lose the... yeah, I've screwed that up because I could have just moved that guy in the way. Oh well, never mind. It is what it is. You guys just sit there. They may just back off or they may attack the scout. If it attacks the scout, it attacks the scout. Yeah, the scout's probably going to die there, but that's fine. Okay, so that was a little bit of a rookie error, but it's one of those things. So let's go in and get rid of you with our ironclads. And we'll go over here and we will start our second city. And let's see what we can do for you. Again, we want to put it on production focus by default. We definitely want to be working 2 food and 2 production. And then probably the 2 food and 1 gold on these. How many do we have? We just have the 3 there. Okay, that's fine. You're going to need to construct something, of course. So we could go ahead and get ourselves... Well, we'll probably get some harbours and get them all connected up. So let's start working on a harbour. We'll move this ironclad back into the city so that it can heal up. Just want to try and use this ironclad to... Right, there is their... the other civilization up there. Maybe we want to move up here. Maybe being next to the mountain would be useful. We don't have a lot of good places to choose from. Let's start moving up in this direction. I don't really want to forward settle, if I can help it. Being next to a mountain would be brilliant. I'll have to see how that's going to work out. Let's just check down there. So there is some sugar, but certainly not worth settling in that direction just to get that sugar. Let's go on to the next turn. Of course, he may just decide to drop his settler down right there. Now then, let's have a little bit of a look over here. There's some coal there, actually. So settling here wouldn't be such a bad thing. It'll take us a little while to get there, and he could drop a city. But if I drop my city right here on the cattle, which I appreciate isn't the best idea, but it would force him back. What would we get from that? We'd get the furs. We'd get the sheep. We would be in range of this cattle. We can't see what else is up there. We'd be in range of the coal. We'd be in range of this stone, although this city's going to work it. I think we just drop that city right there and forward settle him. Again, onto production focus. And we want to be working 2 food, 1 gold, and 2 science. And we need to grow, so probably the camp and... Well, it's not a camp yet. And this tile here. And you're going to work on a watermill, because you're on a river. So that's fine. Getting some happiness issues now, but that's okay. So, who got promoted? I guess it was you. You have been promoted. Let's go and give you... Got quite a lot of rough terrain here. So let's go and give you drill. And we'll put you in Yekaterinburg. And you can go and heal up there. So what have we got? You have finished the farm. That is fantastical. Let's go and get you up here and get the sugar connected up. We've got +1 population here in All-In. And you have decided to work where now? It says we've got +1 population. All of the tiles are locked in, so I'm not too sure where that population is. Maybe I am mistaken. Orlin has grown. City of Orlin now has 5 citizens. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, you've automatically gone into the workshop. I see. So we could take you out of the workshop and we could put you into another tile. But I think for the time being, we'll just put you in the public school and we'll try and get some science out of this. I think you could just go back into the city on defensive duty for the time being. Now, that's really going to upset those guys, but at least it does help to stop them expanding a little. Yeah, you just go on to alert. Let's go on to the next turn. Yep, he's a little bit annoyed by that. Okay, we won't settle near you in the future. So that's going to upset him quite a bit. But if I hadn't have settled there, that's probably where he would have settled. So I don't mind that I did that. I'm actually quite happy that I did that. We probably want to go and have a little look over in this direction just to see what we can find. We will keep looking around with the scout as well. Got some iron up here. This is actually a nice little area. It's a shame we didn't get a city up there, but maybe we can get another settler out quickly enough to do something. These workers have finished the camp. Let us go ahead and get a mine. You guys are going to go there and work on the sugar. Then we'll move up and start working here. We will have some sugar to trade, so that's not too much of a problem. We'll do one more turn before we end the video. And our borders are starting to grow. So you guys are going to build a mine. You guys are going to work on a plantation. And we'll keep having a look up here with you. There's another city-state over in this direction. This is actually quite a nice area. Okay, there's a lot of desert, but there's iron, there's truffles, there's wheat. But we'll see what we can find. Let's have a quick look up around your borders and see what you have. Nothing particularly exciting, it wouldn't appear. You've healed up now anyway. We might just want to keep you around here for sort of defensive purposes for the time being, so let's go ahead and do that. And that's all I can do on this turn, so I am going to end the video there. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you are enjoying Civilization 5 on this rather sort of unique and different scenario. Hopefully I don't make a complete mess of it, but I'll see you guys on the next video. So until then, goodbye for now.